What's a company secret you can share now that you don't work there? Health insurance, dude. When you file a claim, it is often denied because they're counting on you not escalating it. Once you do, your case goes to a medical management group, which ought to be called the We Don't Want to Pay group. Keep escalating and involve your doctor. Fight for the insurance you paid for. Can confirm. Busted my knee. Was on crutches, BC. I couldn't walk on it. Was denied BC that they felt I wasn't in enough pain, BC. I didn't require a painkiller prescription. Doctor went back and forth, and I was on crutches 2 months before they finally relented, and I could get my surgery. Mortgage industry here, we're like cops. Only answer the question asked. Do not provide additional information to be helpful. It could screw you over. Oprah Winfrey had us edit her arm waddles in post-production. This isn't a company secret, but I worked part-time at a Domino's franchise in college. The owner was, at first glance, a short-tempered, critical penny pincher who did everything he could to save business money, right down to watching over your shoulder to make sure you didn't put too much cheese on a pizza. Cheese is called white gold in the pizza industry, even back in 2002. But after working for him for a while, you realized why he was so specific about the margins. Twice yearly, he would send out generous bonuses in the form of money orders made out to his employees from his own personal savings account, to the college students working for him. The checks, money orders contained the memo line, "Keep learning." The amount of the money orders would be directly correlated to the profit margins of the stores he owned. The dude did legit profit sharing. After I graduated, I'd heard a rumor that he was
trying to start up a small education grant trust that would benefit applicants of the Farmer School of Business at Miami University. But I don't think anything ever came of it. This owner also played favorites when hiring. Every single one of his managers was a former employee. 3 of the 4 managers at his stores when I worked there had graduated from my college with business degrees. All 4 of them had a small portion of their education paid for by Marvin Covington. Marvin Covington, Oxford, Ohio. Domino's owner from Vevey, Indiana, died in 2017. That dude knew how to do business and do it right. I worked at L'Oreal. The cosmetics from L'Oreal and Lancôme are practically the same, but Lancôme costs like $20 more. And the T-Mobile has 2 coverage maps, the one they show customers and the real one that is internal shows the actual coverage. Diminishes by about 50%. Their coverage is built on a bed of lies. Diet Sprite and Sprite Zero were the exact same thing. They didn't change the recipe one bit. They just changed the name and design. I worked at a comic book store that offered a service where you paid a small premium to have sent in rare comics to have them graded at CGC. A few months later, we had many customers coming in to check the status of their comics. We contacted the owner to see what was going on, and he would always claim that there was some distribution problem. Fast forward a few months, we found out he was taking customers' graded copies and selling them online while trying to return back issue versions of their original comics. I worked for a major hotel chain in housekeeping for over 10 years. The number of suicides and people who died naturally in their rooms is a lot higher than you'd think. I worked at a huge convention hotel with over 1,000 rooms, and it happened quite often. Unless it was a pretty gnarly mess, it would just get cleaned like normal, and the next guest had no idea. 1 gallon of milk, 1 full bottle of Monin vanilla syrup, and 0.6 of a pound of espresso brewed. Now freeze it. Boom! Joe Muggs frozen cappuccino. Had a friend who worked for a bridal dress company. She would tell me all her stories after work. They intentionally will bring back the wrong dress in attempts to get you to try it on, fall in love, and buy a more expensive wedding dress. They'll walk you through the more expensive sections, so you look through dresses out of your budget and want to try them on. They often forget to check if the dress you requested is in stock for the time frame you've requested. Again, so that you'll have to pay more for faster shipping or a nicer dress. It's a very predatory business masked by compliments, thinly veiled body shaming, and incredibly underpaid and understaffed stores. At a local deli grocery store I worked at, everyone raved about how good their mac and cheese is, and it always sold really quick when I worked in the deli. It's even labeled on the menu as
Store's famous mac and cheese? It's literally just Stouffer's. We didn't even add anything to it. If you were on live chat with customer care, I could see what you were typing before pressing send. I watched people work through grotesque, racist, sexist statements, fraudulent lies and mistruths, meticulous grammar fixes, and their whole range of emotions in real time before deleting and typing OK. Arby's manager replaced the expiration stickers on the bread with new ones. I guess so the bread would last longer that way. I threw out 100 plus pitas with green fuzz on them after checking the manager's work. Best Buy sells most larger appliance at cost or loss. Many of these are MSRP controlled too. Things like TVs, washer, dryer, laptops, phones, etc. do not make them any money, but the accessories to go with them make all the money. Cables, cases, mounts, bags, install, and warranty is where they make their money. We were trained to push the highest-end monster cables and shit. Management didn't care if I sold 1 million TVs. They cared how many cables and mounts I sold. If you sold a TV and didn't attach accessories, you'd get additional training. The difference between the high-quality deli meat sold at M&S and the regular deli meat sold in other grocery stores is that we changed the label. We would literally stop the production line, wait for the guy who ran the label machine to swap them out, and then start it back up again. Once, when I worked at Wendy's, we ran out of chicken breading. The manager substituted flour, salt, and pepper. People mentioned how the new recipe was so much better. Corporate found out and fired him. Work in IT. Everyone pretty much openly admitted our software was held together by the digital equivalent of duct tape and chicken wire. Teachers are so burned out they would rather give your student a passing grade than have to deal with them or you again. There's a certain bakery that makes bundt cakes. They claim they're made fresh, but they're all made weeks ahead of time. Frozen and then thawed. Was a slot tech at a casino. The machines have to pay back a certain percent over a certain amount of time. Play the slot machines in the bar counters. They are set to return a higher percent in that same time, sometimes up to 8-10% higher than the lowest machines. Stay away from machines in high-traffic areas and near the doors. Worked at an ISP. We lied to customers daily about speeds and delivery times. We sold internet and stations we knew were full, and DSL is just garbage. Don't had a single customer in 7 years who actually got the speed we promised. The burned out rates and support was 3 months before people quit. If you tried to actually help customers, you got chewed out and was a problem. This thread started out funny, then got dark, so I'm going to share a good thing. I used to take calls for the Natal, Suicide Hotline, the Trevor Line, and others. The org I worked for was the best damn place I've ever worked. Management was incredible, dedicated to training of counselors who needed help to improve their skills, to quality control, and a real dedication to our callers. We were paid well, $20 plus /HR, treated with respect, encouraged to take personal leave when necessary, and accumulated sick and amp vacation time as part-timers. I was a major supplier for Walmart. They have a policy that if you sell a product to them, you may not sell that product to anyone else for the same or a lower price. This is not a written policy because it is an illegal constraint of free trade. Nonetheless, this is their policy, and they will drop you as a supplier if you violate this unwritten and illegal policy. I used to work at a chain of local goods stores in Washington. A lot of the products were not fully local or even half. Worked at Goodwill for 3 years. They have warehouses and warehouses and warehouses full of donated product just sitting there waiting to get sold. Probably never. Please donate other places if possible. Your donation will go farther. Women's shelters, veterans' homes, animal shelters, Once Upon a Child, etc.